It is fair to say that consistency has never been a key factor in Audi's S models. Take this S4 for example, which in only the last 3 generations has been powered by a twin-turbo V6 petrol, a naturally aspirated V8 petrol, a supercharged V6 petrol, a single-turbo V6 petrol, and now it's a diesel. Or at least it is for European buyers, where the petrol-powered S4 is no more. Instead, the S4 gets the same 3-litre V6 turbo diesel as the S6 that we also recently tested. In that review, my colleague, Mr. Dan Prosser, said that he thought the switch to diesel power suited the S6 very well. In fact, he called it an inspired move.
The switch to a diesel engine was an inspired move.
See? However, the S6 is a bigger, heavier, more luxurious car than this S4, and so what's true for that might not be true for this. We'll be finding out precisely that in this video, and if you like what you see, please do let us know in the comments. And remember, you can keep up with videos from Dan, Rebecca Jackson and myself by subscribing to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel and turning on notifications. Right, come down here, it's time for some investigative work. Let's have a look, because as everyone on the internet knows, the Audi S6 has fake exhaust. So what about this S4? No, look, we've got the exhaust pipes leading into the exhaust tips. No fake exhaust there. And on this side, fake exhaust. Come on, Audi. It's just a bit pathetic. Obviously, the boot is not as big as the S6 Avant, but at 505 litres, it's also not small. The flat loading lip is useful, but there's no underfloor storage, and while the seats fold, they don't go completely flat. Thankfully, there is nothing fake about the feeling of quality you get once you are inside the S4. This leather is soft and diamond quilted, and even on the doors, all the different materials look and feel really nice. Now, it's pretty roomy as well. You can get 3 adults across if you need to. You've got to straddle this big transmission tunnel, but it's okay. Or if there are 2 of you, you get to enjoy this rather fancy armrest. So you've got a bit of storage under there, and then look at these cup holders. It's like a transformer or something. The only thing I would say is that in the S4 you get these seats. Audi calls them super sport seats, and they are hard back. So if you are a particularly tall passenger in the back, you might be wedging your knees into the back of them, which is not going to be all that comfortable. However, I'm 5'11", and as you can see, I fit just fine. And I don't care anyway, because I'm going to be driving. Now I'm in the front, I really can enjoy these super sport seats, and they really are super too. They are super supportive, they hold you in place brilliantly, they're super comfortable, and they're full of super electric adjustment, including, if I press the button down here, a massage function. Now, that actually says quite a lot about how the S4 is positioned, because if it was an out-and-out performance model, then it would not have seats that massage you as you drive. Rather, the S4 is like the consummate all-rounder. It's a performance car, but it's designed to do everything. Just as important then is the quality of the technology on offer, which is an area where Audi tends to excel. Now, this latest S4 is part of a generally revamped A4 range. So some of the changes, you don't get a rotary controller down here for the infotainment anymore. Instead, you get this touchscreen, and the touchscreen itself has haptic feedback. So what that means is you really kind of have to prod the button to get a response. It's a really good system. I do miss the rotary controller a bit. I think it's easier to use on the move. However, as far as touchscreens go, this is very good. What you don't get is the secondary display down here like you would in something like an S6. However, for me, that can be quite distracting. So I actually think the single screen setup, particularly when you pair it with these digital dials of the virtual cockpit, really is the optimum as far as modern Audi interiors go. So we've got that big V6 diesel up front, but the S4 also has a mild hybrid system. It's got a 48 volt mild hybrid system, and one of the things incorporated in that is an electric compressor. And what that does, it's driven off the 48-volt system. So the idea is it gets rid of turbo lag. Now, get the S4 going, get it up on its toes, and it works. It feels like a responsive car. However, the caveat there is that you do really need to get it up on its toes, because if you're just driving quite lazily, the S4 feels quite lazy. It doesn't provide quite such instant responses as you expect. However, once it is going, it's not just quick, it's really, really quick. Whoa! That's quick as in 347 horsepower, a mammoth 700 newton meters of torque, and a 0 to 62 mile per hour time for this Avant version of just 4.9 seconds. Throw Quattro four-wheel drive into the mix and you've got a quite staggering cross-country pace, regardless of whether it's wet or dry. Now, we referenced the gearbox a minute ago. It's an 8-speed and it's a torque converter automatic. It's not dual clutch. So if you put it into manual mode, you flip the lever to the left, the changes aren't quite as snappy as a dual clutch. They're not bad, but they're not quite as snappy as a dual clutch. But in all other circumstances, this is a real smoothie. It's a nice gearbox. The thing I can't get over though is why Audi persists on performance models with these plasticky little paddles. Why can't it do proper paddles? The S4's steering is direct, but it lacks any weight or feel. But true to the car's executive status, it is a fine vehicle in which to cover big distances with a quiet cabin, decent ride quality, and the potential to return around 35 miles per gallon. Beyond the raw speed of it, and it is so fast, I'm not sure that it is quite exciting enough. Personally, I'm missing the tunefulness of those petrol engines. This car does have some sound amplification through the speakers, and it sounds okay, but it's not really stirring my soul. And I'm also missing the ability to rev. This thing is pretty much all done by 4,500, 5,000 RPM. You're on to the next gear. And so as a result, what you end up doing is surfing on this great wodge of mid-range torque. Now that's all fine and great, and it's very calm and it's incredibly quick, but I don't know, it's just not quite got the buzz that I want from an S car. This engine suits the S6 so well. It's a larger, more luxurious car, but in this smaller, more agile S4, I have to be honest and say I miss having a petrol motor. Now, don't get me wrong, I like this car, I admire what it can do, and I think using it on a daily basis would be rather lovely. However, I don't find it an easy car to love, and I don't know, if you're spending £50,000 on an Audi S model, that just seems like a bit of a shame. Does a diesel S4 appeal to you? Let us know in the comments. Remember too to head to cargurus.co.uk, because that is where you'll find great deals from top-rated dealers on your next car. And please do like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss when our new videos go live.